All right, what up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Today on the show, we have Danny Whitson, who is a stand-up comedian and magician. Danny, how you doing?
Doing good, Tim. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. And we like to jump right in. So if you could start with telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you like to do for fun, that'd be great.
Like you said, I am a stand-up comedian and magician. I've been at that, overall, probably working on close to 20 years. So it's been a long time. I pretty much travel all over the country performing, a lot in the Southeast part of the United States, but pretty much been everywhere. For fun, what do I like to do for fun? That's a great question. That's a great question now. For fun. Well, that's a tough one. Man, I don't know. There's things I enjoy doing, I just don't ever get to do ever. Like I like to maybe play a little golf if I ever get a chance, but I never get to do that. So, that's maybe play some video games from time to time, stuff like that.
I feel you.
Nothing super exciting. I don't know. That's a good question though. Now you got me thinking about fun. So
I got you. It's funny. My fiance is she really likes to do big things a lot. And she'll always be like, it'll just be a common day. And she'll be like, man, this is just so boring. I'm like, what do you want to be doing right now? I'm so it's cool to travel and stuff. It's cool to do those one-time events, but you can't be doing a one-time event every day, if that makes sense. And so I'm always curious as to what people do for fun. And I think playing video games is a perfect answer. Playing a little golf is a perfect answer. So awesome. Tell us about starting out as a magician. I'm so curious as to how you get into it, how you start learning the trade.
Well, whenever I started, a lot of magicians usually, most magicians always get like a magic kit when they're a kid, and that's how they're introduced to magic the first time. That did not happen to me. I didn't get introduced to magic till I was about 20 years old, or my early 20s, which is a late bloomer for magic. But I walked into a brick and mortar shop, which they don't really have these days anymore, but just an old trick shop, and a magician blew my mind. And I got what they call the magic bug. I was like, I have to learn this. I have to figure this out. So I came back. The guy was like, all right, well, you can learn this trick in this book. Bought this book. Went home and just literally was hooked. I had to learn everything. So I bought book after book after book, and was kind of self-taught from there. But but getting into magic, I mean, nowadays people have stuff like YouTube and sources like that, to where you can go and you can learn a trick here, learn a trick there, and then eventually you can take a different type of path and find the right books and stuff to learn out of. But it's just basically you see a trick, and there's two types of people. There's people that'll see a magic trick and they'll be like, wow, that was crazy, and they can walk away and go on with their life. And then there's those people that see it and be like, I have to learn this. I have to know.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm definitely one of those people like, wow, that was crazy, go back to my life.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you know anything about hypnotists. Is it a similar realm, or is it completely different?
It's totally different, but there's similarities. There really is similarities in the performance aspect of it, because when you go see a hypnotist, there's two types. There's a hypnotist that'll help you quit smoking, and then there's a hypnotist at like a comedy club. But they're both one of the interesting things in magic, and I remember discovering this, not really discovering it, but learning this, and I just thought, this is so interesting. But when I bring somebody up on stage and I say, I want you to stand right here and maybe just put your hands behind your back. Okay, if I tell you to do that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do it.
Yep.
Which is just interesting. There's something interesting about that. So a hypnotist kind of does sort of the same thing. Now, they go a lot deeper with their process. Like, you don't want to look like the jerk up on stage. You don't want to be the guy who's not, who doesn't want to be a part of the show, who wants to screw it up, but the hypnotist goes much more further than that and takes advantage of that whole thing on stage. But like I said, there's a little bit of it in magic. The whenever you've been doing it as long as I have, I've literally studied every part, mentalism, card magic, coin magic, stage magic, you name it, all the different types of, the magic arts there is. And when it comes to influencing people with your words and your directions, that's where the similarities in hypnotism and magic come.
I gotcha. So just curious, would you just be a killer salesperson if that's what you decided to go do?
Well, what's interesting is before I went full-time professional entertainer, that's exactly what I did. And I think a lot of people in entertainment are also good salespeople, because you have to be a good salesperson in entertainment. You have to sell yourself. And I think that with any sales job, like actually during the pandemic, I released a set of training videos through A to Z Entertainment, a booking agency called The Magic of Sales. And it was basically, I just taught people, it's people, corporations purchase the videos and they show it to their employees. And it's basically just me telling them how to be a better salesperson. And then I would do some magic in each video to kind of make it, less boring, not your typical work training video. But absolutely, man. I mean, dude, I would, when I was in the sales job, I was the top salesperson. So, and I mean, I got right in there, dude. And I just, sold, you sell yourself first and they'll buy anything from you.
Yep.
And that's the same thing in entertainment. Like, a comic hops up on stage. If they like that comic, if they can relate to that comic, they're going to laugh at anything he says.
Yeah.
So it's, and the same thing in magic, if you get in there and you win them over, you got it.
There we go. Well, awesome. Tell us a bit about your motivation. What gets you up and keeps you going every day?
Bills. No. Well, I mean, I've busted my butt to get to where I am because being a full-time entertainer it's not easy. It's you have to constantly work every day. You're never off. Like the other jobs out there to where you get vacation time and you get stuff like that. Well, not this job. You're always working, and whether if you're getting paid or not. So that's a big motivator right there, is like, I have to, keep this engine running, have to keep it going, and also, I mean, I try not to get lost in that, to where you're just chasing that dollar too, to where I'm like, I've busted my butt to be able to stand on stage and make people happy and make people smile. That's a motivator on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Well, let's jump into your dreams and goals now. What really is your vision for your career as an entertainer and just your life?
This is the thing, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, Danny Whitson would have said, I want to be on this television show, or I want my own Netflix special, or I want, not necessarily now. I mean, all those things would be cool. Don't get me wrong. All those, and there's some little projects that I'm actually working on that, something might happen. It might not, but overall, I mean, in my career, I'm not dissatisfied right now. So like if I was to retire next week, I would look back and say, Danny, great job. Fantastic job. But now when I talk about dreams, I focus on things that I really want to accomplish are kind of outside of my career and is more with my family. is seeing my kids grown and seeing them happy and successful. And I just, looking to have a life with them, you know. But as far as, like I said, there's neat things, but as far as a bucket list, it's I've pretty much done everything, man, if like I said, if I retired tomorrow and I had to go back and look at everything I've done, I'm like, man, dude, not bad, dude. And that's not bragging. That's not a brag or anything. That's just like, dude, you started out this poor kid, with nothing. And you stood on some of the coolest stages, boats, and all these, and entertained all these people. And in a million years, I never would have thought I'd had that opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that right there is enough for me.
There we go. I love it. Contentment. There we go. Well, awesome. So we got seeing your kids grown, happy, and successful. And that's all we got for dreams and goals. You ready to move on?
Absolutely.
Sounds good. That's a good dream goal, if you ask me. Well, if there were one or two people that you can meet right now, and this could be a specific person or a type of person, and they'd really help you achieve seeing your kids grown, happy, and successful, who would that person be and how would they do it?
Oh, man. One person I can meet. Is this somebody that I've met before or used to know, or does it need to be somebody I've never met?
It could be somebody you have met and maybe you need to reconnect with, for sure.
You know what, man? I'm going to say right off the bat, I would love to my dad. And I'm not trying to make this too sappy, bro.
I know.
But
tears.
like, man, comic, this guy's a bummer. But my dad passed away a few years back, and a day doesn't go by that I don't have a question for my pops, and that's one of the things, like, I kind of wish, that you think of all the things you would have asked your parents, that you didn't, and you think that you got it all covered, but when they're gone, you're like, holy crap,
Yep.
Your parents are kind of like, they're like laundry. You don't realize you need them till they're all old and wrinkly. So, like this shirt, look, I took a nap, anyways, but no, it would definitely be my father, dude. You realize that they're always right. At least most of the time they're always right. And especially any guidance in life, all the help I can get right there.
There we go. And what question would you ask him right now? Do you have a specific one or just kind of general advice?
Let's see. What question would I ask him? Gosh, just, what did you do whenever you, I mean, I don't know, man. I know there's a lot. A whole lot. Like, what's this check engine light thing mean? I never got in the cars like he did. You know what I mean? All kinds of stuff, dude. All kinds of stuff, were you scared? Yeah. That's the one thing that you look back at your dad's game face or your mom's game face, and you're just like, damn, how'd they pull that off? Yep. But a lot of questions, man. I would too many.
Gotcha. There we go. Well, awesome. Now we're going to jump into our Thriving 3. And the first question is, what is your favorite book, movie, or podcast? Pick one.
Man, okay, I'm going to go with, dude, I listen to a ton of podcasts. Really, I do. And can I pick two? Can I pick a podcast in a movie?
I'll let you pick two.
And let me, okay, here we go. One podcast I've really been digging, and it's some people may listen to this and be like, this is boring as hell. But I like, you know who Lex Friedman is?
Lex Friedman. Oh, that name is so familiar.
Okay. The Lex Friedman podcast, and Lex is like, he looks like a number 2 pencil. Okay. And he's real monotone. There's nothing exciting about Lex, but he has a lot of interesting guests on. And it's just interesting topics, just smart, interesting topics. And it's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but I always like to learn. You know what I mean? I really dig learning, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you can learn off that podcast. I got a ton of podcasts. I love podcasts. And my favorite movie, okay, is Tombstone. I got a ton of favorite movies, but I really like Tombstone.
Okay, why Tombstone?
Man, the thing I dig at the very end, the way Wyatt Earp and oh my gosh, I can't think of the lady. Oh my gosh, the lady that he winds up with at the end. You know, man, they're just kind of like, after all that mess, let's just travel and live on room service. You know, let's just go experience life. Let's go actually really live life. You know what I mean? It's pretty dope at the end when you watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is one way you like to take care of yourself?
Well, you know, it used to be, believe it or not, I used to be an avid runner. I used to really like to go running. And, you know, that's where I would clear my mind, and I would come up with a lot of bits. I would come up with a lot of new routines and stuff for my show, and a great stress reliever. But the past here lately, it's been eating, which is bad, you know. So I've been eating too damn much, but I do plan on getting back into exercise and running. You know, that's absolutely the plan when I look to it. It's just been so damn hot here in Tennessee. I don't know where you're at. Where are you at, Timothy?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Okay, all right, cool, man. That's a great town, by the way. That's an awesome town, and you know about the damn heat.
Yes,
so,
I do.
It has been so hot, dude. But no, that's what I do like to do. Absolutely, that's what I like to do.
There we go. And what is one action step you can take right now or continue to take if you're already doing it? Hopefully, you're already doing it. But 2, see your kids grown, happy, and successful.
One action step. Well, first of all, talk to your kids. You know what I mean? Get to know them. Sit down and, you know, pay attention, because it's easy as a parent to get caught up in your own crap and your own BS. And, you know, I was thinking of this today. A lot of people from, you know, my generation, Gen X, you know, we look at Gen Zs, and I'm not even talking about millennials. I'm talking about Gen Zs. You know, we look at them, be like, what's these damn kids? They don't go outside. They don't do this. And well, you know who raised them?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know who raised them like that? You know what I'm saying? So there's so many Gen X's that are looking at their phones, or all caught up in their Facebook, or caught up in their crap, that they're not doing certain things with their kids or spending time with, you know? So I'm trying not to be that parent. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, even though I don't understand the crap my daughter's listening to, I don't understand it. You know, I don't get some of people, you know, you want to watch people play video games? What? You know, I mean, what? You know, in my day, man, we were waiting for our turn to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we had the Super Mario, Nintendo, you know, but I, you know, just pay attention to your kids, man. Pay attention. And, you know, here's the other thing is I know this podcast about people, you know, achieving their dreams and doing stuff like that. And if I don't know if you have any entertainers, I don't want to change the course of the question here.
No, you're good. Go for it. Whatever you want.
You know, any entertainers listening, and a lot of people, that is a big step for a lot of people when they think about how they want to go full-time in entertainment. Absolutely, you can do it. Okay, so if anybody's listening, you can do it. All right. But find you a partner that's got a good job. Now, that always helps. But no, seriously though, it to be honest with you, in something like that though, you have to have a hustle mentality. Okay. So you can't be this person that, there's 2 types of people. I think there's the 9-to-5 person job, which nothing at all is wrong with that, but you're secure and you're happy with getting that paycheck regardless to what happens. You got that paycheck coming. And then there's a person that's comfortable with hustling, with being, you know, that's like, I don't know where that paycheck's coming from tomorrow, but I know I can get up and go out there and get it. You got to have that kind of mindset. And in entertainment, it's a sink or swim type of business. So you have to be ready to swim when you do it.
Yeah. There we go. That's an important leap. Like, you don't have to make it when you're dead broke. Maybe make it when you have a year in savings or a spouse with a good job or
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. Well, cool. We got our last kind of series of questions now, and they require a bit of pretext. So stick with me here. Okay. So a lot of people have come on the podcast and they've said that the catalyst that helps people change from having a fixed mindset, not willing to accept help and not willing to accept change, to having a growth mindset, being willing to accept help and being willing to accept change. The catalyst that helps people make that switch is a personal choice that happens after either extreme inspiration or extreme desperation. Do you agree, disagree, have anything to add or subtract?
So it's either you're saying it's either extreme inspiration or desperation.
Yeah, so this person either went to a Tony Robbins event or they had somebody die in their life. But then, in addition to that, they made a personal choice. And that's what's the catalyst.
It's kind of, I kind of see both, you know, because I mean, I see, okay, and I'm just basing this off my own experience. Like, I've seen acts out there, like there's a handful of people out there that have inspired me, okay, that have inspired me. And I'm like, you know, you see people that are so in my field, I'll see some people that are so good that I'm jealous, but jealous in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, jealous and like, wow, man, you know, I wish I would have thought of that. And so I go, it inspires me to go come up with something in my mind for me. But then at the same time, man, whenever you look at desperation, you're pushing that corner. And you're like, it is a sink or swim situation for me. I have to, you know, do something. You know, I have to, you know, this is what it is, and it's got to get down. And like for me, if I have any pressure whatsoever, I love being in pressure situations because I always perform better. I always do better when I'm in a pressure situation. I do. So and also I'm a big fan of pressure situations too. I think that it makes people grow whenever you step up to pressure. So I'm down with both of those.
I feel that. I'm curious about your relationship with failure, being in because you love to be in so many pressure situations. Like ultimately you're gonna fail in some of those pressure situations. So what's your relationship with failure?
Oh my God. Well, we've been dating for about 13 years now. Okay, this is the thing, man. Okay, this is the thing. First of all, I always tell people, if you're scared to fail, you know, get the hell over yourself. You know what I mean? Get out. You get out, because you are completely wrong with the way the world sees you. First of all, you know what I mean? People can't step out of their own skin and really look at themselves. They're afraid to. So they build up this whole fake image of themselves. I'm like, man, that ain't you. But first of all, your first experience with failure will come in comedy. Okay, there's nothing that'll humble your soul quicker than standing in front of an audience and bombing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just you and your soul and that mic and your dumb jokes, and you bomb, and you're like, well, I'm not as funny as I thought I was, you know. Yeah. And so, but what that does though, you grow from that. You know what I mean? You grow from that. There's two types. Like I said, there's two types of people. There's a person that'll shut down and will go lock himself in a room and never do it again. And then there's the person that will learn from it and dust himself off and get back and do it again and do it again. And, you know, comics are so used to failure that, you know, and then even whenever you do get to a point where you have a good act, then you have to prove yourself to that booker.
Yeah.
Book me. And then they don't, you know. I mean, how many times, you know, you send a press kit that looks fantastic to a booker and you know what you can do, but they don't care. You know, they don't book you, you know. So, I mean, it's something that you have to get used to. And I think that can relate to anything that you want to do, especially any type of entrepreneur, anybody, you know. Being told no, man, is going to happen. You just have to keep on getting up and doing it. You know what I mean? And I think also after being told, you know, that's the thing. What's the worst that could happen? You can fail. That's it.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's failure. Me and failure go way back.
There we go. There we go. Well, given the same amount of extreme inspiration, extreme desperation, why do you think some people make the choice to change and others don't?
Man, I it I know there's I've asked myself this question a lot. Now you talking about like changing what? Changing like to pursue their dreams, or in a good way, bad way?
Mostly changing for the better, to like make the choice to become their best selves, whether it be kicking that, being an alcoholic, kicking being addicted to drugs, starting taking massive action on their dreams, whatever it may be.
Man, I have seen I with the drug thing, I thought was interesting because that's something, luckily, that I've never been an addict. But I know a friend who was, and now he's clean, and he does nothing at all. And I asked him, I was like, man, because I know, unfortunately, I know some drug addicts out there, people who struggle with addiction. And I asked him, I said, man, what does it take to get somebody to make that change? And he told me, he said, rock bottom does, but he goes, rock bottom is not a place, it's a feeling. So I was like, wow, now I think you can hit rock bottom in a lot of things. Like if you're at that job that you can't stand, you know what I mean, and you feel trapped. A lot of people will get that job that they can't stand, they feel trapped. It might pay well, or something, but still you don't like your boss, you don't like your coworkers. That there's a point to where you just can't take it anymore, and you got to make that move. So I think whenever rock bottom hits, whenever you start feeling that rock bottom, that's whenever you need to make that change.
I love it. Rock bottom isn't a place, it's a feeling, which would explain same amount of inspiration or desperation. That's what it seems like from the outside, but they haven't hit the feeling of rock bottom yet.
Yep.
Well, I think this next question gets at the question I had anyway, so I'm just going to ask it. Some people need a small amount of desperation or inspiration to change, and others need a larger, more consistent amount. What do you think establishes that breaking point, and can it be influenced? So basically, what establishes that threshold for like where you feel rock bottom, and can it be influenced?
I mean, I'm sure it can be. Something like that is such a personal thing, man. It's such a personal thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it can or not. Maybe varies on different people if it can be influenced or not. Like, I mean, I guess you could say, my rock bottom, was I sitting in a office all day wasn't for me. And I looked at my cubicle, I looked at my computer screen, and I was just like, this is like a prison to me. And Danny, ain't nobody going to live your life except you. Yeah. So you got to do something about it. So it was more of a personal thing. I didn't have any real influence or anything, nothing inspired me or anything to make that decision. So I don't think so. I think it has to be more of it's got to be all you.
Gotcha. And what do you think establishes that, just that rock bottom point? Like everybody has a different point. Like for you, it was a cubicle. For some people, it's I've been homeless for 5 years. For other people, it's I lost $1 million of my $1 billion. Like what establishes that rock bottom point?
I think it's got to be whenever, you feel like you've run out of options, and you have self-realization, self-awareness. You got to have full self-awareness. That's how we talked about earlier. A lot of people don't have self-awareness. They don't step out of their own skin and take a look at themselves. You know what I mean? So I think it's, whenever that person finally steps out and takes a look at their situation and it's like, okay, it's either sink or swim, we got to do something.
I gotcha. And we got one last question for you. So for this question, kind of keep a person in mind who has a really fixed mindset. They're not willing to accept help and they're not willing to accept change. So in Atomic Habits by James Clear, he talks about the 4 laws of changing your behavior. And the laws are: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. With that context in mind and the avatar I just told you to keep in your head, how can we, you and I, create an environment that makes it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying for that avatar to make the choice that will change their life?
Ooh. Oh man. Well, I mean, I guess, we go back to inspiration. So maybe live by example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Set example. Now, I mean, I think, sometimes, I've had people say, I get this all the time. Matter of fact, I do. I get people tell me all the time, hey, man, I'm thinking about going full-time entertainment, and they see me, on social media and a lot of stuff. And I'm almost like an inspiration and motivator to them. So I think by setting an example and people seeing other people succeeding at it, that it inspires them too. I think that's the way, what we can do to help people make a change and to, bettering themselves or being more happy.
There we go. I love it. Live by example. Well, awesome. Danny, is there anything else you want to chat about before we sign off?
Oh man, I don't know. I hope I didn't make this too boring. So
Oh, it was fantastic.
So cool deal. Well, Austin, Texas, dude. I love Austin, man. How are you born and raised? You from? That's where you're from?
Yep. Born and raised in Round Rock, Texas, so about 30 minutes north of Austin. Now I'm living in South Austin. Went off to North Carolina for college. Got back about a year ago because I wanted to be closer to family.
Awesome, dude. What part of North Carolina?
Davidson, North Carolina, so 30 minutes north of Charlotte. 40
nice,
minutes.
Dude. I'm going to be in Charlotte next month. I love Charlotte, dude.
There we go. Yeah, Charlotte, it's a nice little city.
It is. Did you ever get out to the comedy zones out there?
I did not. No, I really don't go out much. Stand-up comedy is one of the things that I want to do more often, but I'm in kind of like build mode right now. And so
Gotcha.
If it's not building or time with my fiance, I tend to not want to do it consistently.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's cool, dude. You want to be there with the fiance. That's great, dude. Well, you're in an awesome town too, man. Austin, Texas. That's a growing like every second too, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
So, but yeah, there's some great places to check out down there in Austin. Esther's Follies. I don't know if you've ever been there, but great show there in Austin to go check out. A lot of cool stuff down there though. So, but yeah, dude, this has been great, man. I've enjoyed this.
For sure. Yeah. Danny, thanks for coming on the show.
Awesome, Timothy, man. Thank you for having me on here, brother.
Of course. And if you guys are listening to this and you loved what Danny had to say, make sure to check him out. All the links to do so will be down in the show notes. As we always ask, go ahead and shoot this podcast over to 1 to 3 people you know need to hear this message, maybe some aspiring entertainers, and give us a 5-star review on iTunes. On that note, we're out.